So welcome to the episode 3, even though we're not really keeping track of episodes, of
Three.
our album Rewind, which is what I finally decided to call the series, Album Rewind, where we go back and look at albums from the past, the present, not the future when it comes out. That was a bad intro.
No,
That was
you're
fucking
fine.
terrible.
Alright,
But it's okay, because we're doing a great
quit.
album today, possibly. A great album. We'll have to see.
Vulgar Display of Power!
The album that I
Wait, we love
chose in a panic
Then fuck
state.
it, I don't care.
Oh,
There you
yes. There's also a special thing we have for this
There
episode.
you go.
We have the very official beer for this album.
It
It's
just-
called Vulgar Display of Lager. Get
just
it?
came out.
Funny. It just came out.
Oh fuck, bro. Probably should have put these in the refrigerator.
Yeah, they're a little warm.
Oh well, still
I'll
drink
save
it. Shut the
I'm
fuck
saving
up.
it.
Okay.
I'm drinking
So,
now.
yeah, that's the album. Zach's got the picture of the
The poster.
poster that came with the beer.
Yeah.
Can you see
So, I don't know if it could probably see it.
Yeah.
But this album came out 30 years ago this year, so...
Yeah, it's pretty old now.
Yeah, that's what's kind of cool about doing it this year, is that it came out 30 years ago in February.
Well, let it fizz up
Let it
and
fizz.
fucking do its thing.
Fuck off! Don't tell me what to do.
So can we give any context for this album? Does anyone have anything to say?
So,
It's good.
Pantera,
Not there yet. We're not there yet.
the original lineup of Pantera and this lineup are completely different animals. Pantera previous to this album were considered a glam metal band in the mid 80s, early 90s. When Cowboys from Hell was released, they had the singer Phil Anselmo, and the idea of the band just changed drastically, radically so. And when Cowboys had its success, Vulgar was the next album up on the chopping block, and it was a powerhouse of just raw emotional energy and raw fun for the band. So
You see it.
this is one of their peaks, and this is what is considered the sophomore album of Pantera
Yeah.
prior to their other works. This is like the true lineup everyone thinks of when they hear Pantera.
Yes. The first song on there is Mouth for War. What did you guys think of that song?
Fucking beautiful.
pretty
That is
good.
such
I
an
like that
aggressive
song.
album. That's an aggressive song.
I think
fun.
it's a good opening track, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely.
baller.
The next song, A New Level, which I also really liked
I
that
also
song.
Really like
A
it.
New Levels, to me, A New Level's good, but it's not like the next couple of songs that are coming up.
Yeah, like that was a good song.
Oh yeah,
It's just,
it's not as
It's-
hard hitting as
This album
what's
starts
coming
off
up.
really hard.
yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
album starts off really
It
strong.
does kind of like die down a little bit, and
Towards
then
the
finishes off.
Yeah,
Finishes off
slows
pretty hard.
down. in
What's
the
the
end.
next one?
The next song is the most famous song. Everyone knows this song. Walk.
That
I like
is
Walk.
Everyone knows Walk.
That was
Fucking
one of the most
legendary.
popular MTV music videos.
Yeah.
Which was just a live show that they did. And it was fucking fantastic. The song is, in its simplicity, is a fucking banger, which is why it's played on the radio more than the other half of the album.
Yeah. And it was the only song off this album I actually knew until I gave this album a listen. Then the next
Fucking
track,
Hostile.
Fucking Hostile. That song is awesome.
I
That-
like that song a lot.
That song is awesome.
This song, I think that was the very last song they had to come up with on the album. And fun fact, it was Dime and Phil Anselmo who came up with the idea of it. Dimebag came up with the riff, and then, why can't I remember his fucking brother's name? Vinnie Paul came up with the drum line afterwards, and that's how the song came to be.
Yeah.
Quick, easy, fucking insane, and then cut. Which is just one of those banger songs that came out of pocket and
Yeah.
out of left field.
And then the next song, This Love, which is an interesting one. It starts off, it's a lot slower of a song compared to the other one.
That was the one I
This
didn't
Love is
really
another
like.
video that's another video on MTV.
Mhm.
They had a music video for that one.
That was the one I.
You
take this love.
You were just
It,
okay
it was
with it?
good, but it was too slow
It is
because
very
like it
slow.
was very slow.
I don't think it's a
literally
bad
the
song.
the
I
first
think it's
one.
just one of the slower songs on the
I
album.
actually really like
No,
that.
it's not.
Hey.
The next song is Rise, which I
That's
thought was
good.
yeah,
That's a good one.
Rise was good.
No Good, Attack the Radical. That song fucking hits so hard, dude.
That song's pretty
That
good.
song was not bad, yeah.
Live in a
That was one
Hole.
of the few I thought was okay.
Live in a Hole is weird for me because I don't mind the idea of that song.
It's alright.
Regular People is kind of dumb. I hate that song, but I also don't care for it. Like, it's a good fucking placeholder.
Yeah, it's alright.
But it's not one of the best songs. By Demons Be Fucking Driven, however, is one of those songs, again, left field. It just happened and it worked out and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then who wants to take the last one?
What's the last track?
Hollow, which is
I like Hollow.
Hollow is a great ballad off this album.
Yeah, I
They
do
do
like
some pretty
that
good
one.
ballads.
Yeah, I think the ballads off this album were honestly really good. I even like This Love. Like, that was honestly one of my favorite
Yeah,
songs
I
off
like
the
the
album.
slower songs. It definitely, because the first part of the album is very, very heavy and fast,
Mm-hmm.
and then they pull it back a little halfway through, and then it kind of stays slower.
Oh, also, yeah, Live in a Hole, I forgot to mention, yeah, that song's a banger.
Live in a Hole is pretty good, but it's not my favorite. Like,
Yeah, I like that song.
if I had to give my favorites off hand, it's Mouth for War, A New Level, Walk, Fucking Hostile, This Love, Hollow, By Demons Be Driven.
That's fair, yeah.
I think-
Two songs are cut. I think it's Regular People and No Good, Attack the Radical. That's a fun song, but it's not one that I could instantly recognize and jump into.
Mm-hmm.
Every other one on this album I can fucking literally recognize and go, oh shit, it's that song off of this album, and party to it.
Yeah.
And fun fact, the album cover took 100 tries to get the right picture.
Really?
That guy got punched in the face 100 times.
What's Ivy?
That's insane.
The 100th time he got hit.
Wait, so that's like an actual photo?
That's
of,
a
like,
real
somebody
dude getting punched in the face.
That's funny.
And they didn't like the other pictures until that 100th picture came
Oh, this
through.
is
And they're
too
like, that's it.
fucking
Leave it in
work.
black and white. That's the album cover.
They did that on purpose. They were like, this dude, he's gonna come in for our album cover shoot. We're gonna punch him 100 times in the face, and then we're just gonna tell him after the 100th time, yeah, that's a good one.
That's the one.
Even though the first one was like, oh, that's really good, but no, we gotta punch this dude.
We just
It's really funny.
We gotta lay this guy.
Yeah.
Just keep kicking his ass. So, overall, this is one of like the seminal '90s albums for metal.
I'd say it's a good album.
This
Like,
is
it's a very solid album. I'm really happy I listened to it.
for anyone walking into the metal scene not knowing who to
This is a
gravitate
good start.
towards. It's a great. No, it's not good. It's a great
It's
start.
a great start. It's
Yeah,
a pretty good start.
This is
I think it's
This
a
one's
good
pretty
start if you want to explore that 90s, like, groove metal era.
yeah. This
Where
is
it just start getting interesting.
This is where you have to admire the gravitas of the scene because they built that scene as a whole. Like, they
Mhm.
came out of left field and were like, "Yeah, we're here."
Just,
And
I've listened to
people love
all of the albums. I've listened to Cowboys and Hell. I've heard every single Pantera album. This one is definitely like something special. It's
I do
definitely
have
better.
to admit.
Yeah.
I do have to admit. This isn't one of my favorite albums, though. I do love this album. I think The Great Southern Trendkill is my favorite
Mhm.
because that one
Okay.
it's darker because they had Phil at the time who had 2 heroin overdoses.
Oof.
And their writing style got a lot darker, and just the rhythm and the riffs became more death metal oriented,
Mm-hmm.
which is like how it was in the mid '90s,
There it
where
is.
everything was blowing the fuck up like that. But
Yeah.
overall, this album's fantastic. I would not let anyone pass this up. If they had an opportunity to listen to it. Listen to it. It's great.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, one of the better albums from the time period.
So
So, should we go to ratings now?
Well, if I
I'm
had
rating the beer first.
Okay, well, we'll start with Zach.
all right. So how would you rate this album on your scale?
Here's the thing with Pantera. I like Pantera a lot, but I'm not like they're definitely not among my favorite people from that era.
Okay.
So if I had to give this album like a good like rating, which I do think it's a great album, I'm gonna give it like a 7 or like a weak 8, like a strong 7.
7
weak
and
8,
3/4.
Yeah.
7 and
I'll
3/4.
just say I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
If I had to give it an official score, I'd give it a 7. It's a great album. It's a pretty good one, but it's nowhere near like as good as some of the other people who came out in that time period, in my opinion. But
Mhm.
I do very much enjoy this album, and they definitely have a very unique style and sound that they just came out of nowhere. Like they just made it up,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Jake, what would you rate this album out of 10?
I'm going a little higher than you. I'm going probably 8.
8? Okay.
Cause this is literally one of the first. I didn't listen to the whole album until this, but Walk is one of the first metal songs I've ever listened to.
That
It's
is
just
that is
really
true.
hits.
How about the rest of the album, though?
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, it's filled with
It's
bangers.
fucking great. The only one I didn't really like was This Love, but it's still a great song.
Yeah.
It kind of caught me off guard.
Because it is really slow.
It just goes.
Because the album is like, it's like 5 really fast songs and like really heavy songs, and then all of a sudden just like a slow
smacks
flat
you with
line.
that. It's like, what? What just happened?
And
And then it
instantly
slowly
goes back.
picks
It was
up
like a
again.
flat line all of a sudden, yeah.
So I would also give this album a 7. I think it's a good album. Like, it's a very solid album.
Can I change mine to a 7? I feel left out.
No, it's honestly better than you.
It's better than you have.
Yeah, you think the album's better. So, yeah, it's a good album. Like, it's honestly one of the better 90s, like, metal albums I've listened to. But, like, some of the songs are just okay to me. And that kind of holds it back for me from being, like, that perfect 90s album. But it's definitely, like, it's something different. And I'm glad I listened to it. And I would definitely listen to more Pantera after this. It's just not one of my favorite albums.
I know Cowboys from Hell is going to be one we're going to be doing.
One day.
Probably one day.
Maybe one day. I like Cowboys from Hell, though.
I love that.
Alright, Luke, what would you give it?
As a Pantera fan, for a while I've been listening to all kinds of music, metal-wise. Pantera was the one band I didn't really get all, like, really in-depth with, like Metallica. Like, I'm in love with that band, but Pantera is the second runner for that position.
Yeah.
That era of metal really defined other metal genres. Like this band was the first one to invent the breakdown, or one of the first breakdown bands.
And it's not even like the breakdowns where you know today metalcore and all that.
This
They
is
do the
what
slow-
happened. This is how it began, and they're pioneers in their own right. I'm a little biased because I do like Pantera. Obviously, they have songs that get kind of repetitive and they sound all the same after a certain point to someone who's not of the uninitiated.
Yeah.
This album's a 9.
Wow.
This
I
is
think it's
a
the highest rated album on
This
the
is
show.
a great
Yeah.
album.
Wait, besides you,
That
you gave
ties
Ice Cube
with
an
my
8, right?
This is
No,
a,
I gave Ice Cube a 9. That ties
Yeah.
with me.
this
Yeah.
is
The
a
highest
this is
score
a
we've given
great
so far.
album. There are 2 songs that really don't hit home that much, but the rest of it is perfect. It's well produced, it's well made, the vocals are fantastic, the guitar work's amazing, drumming's fantastic, and even the bass lines are great. Overall, this is the album to gravitate to for beginner metalheads.
I think so.
That's it.
Yeah.
Say this.
It's
That's
definitely-
my
definitely-
opinion. That's it.
This is
is
definitely
the
a
one.
great beginner album if you're trying to get into metal music. I definitely enjoyed this album, and I'm not the biggest metalhead in the world, but I do like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously there's something.
All right, all 3 of you fight it out. I want to see who wins.
No, I got 8. Them two.
It's me and Zach.
Oh fuck!
They
All
both
right.
did.
Once again, we have a tie.
Every
fucking
as of the rules, the first time the rules have to be put into place.
Oh wait.
I picked the last album.
Oh wait, that means I
So
win by
AJ
default.
gets to pick the next album.
Oh
by default.
shit! Okay,
So-
so I was thinking about this on
Y'all
the way
fuckers
here.
are lucky. Y'all about to
Wait,
listen
here,
to
you
Tally
live
Hall.
So I was thinking this on the way here. It's gonna keep with the metal trend for a bit,
Oh.
but I'm going to pick "Hail to the King" by Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh hell yeah!
that
That's
is
great.
what we'll listen to
I've never
next.
listened to that album.
I haven't
before.
listened to that album.
That's a great
But I
fucking
love-
album.
I love Avenged Sevenfold, so that's gonna be great.
All right, so tune
Fuck,
in
that's
next
gonna
time.
be another high rating.
Tune in next time, and we're gonna give that album a listen.
Ooh.